Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Shemel Shai Bashem Kakodash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of you elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, Yashawamba said, "Oh my goodness." When I say Yashawamba, I'm being elder Yashawamba, which is head of a GMS Dallas camp. And he's been in this walk for a few years, shy of 20 years. So he's definitely a veteran. What did he come in under 2007, 2008, let's say? So we're talking almost 18 years. When we, the men of the heads of GMS, starting with the apostles and the bishops on down, when we got kicked out of the school, I'd been in the school for about 11 years. So I was on my own with the men that I had, or the men that were with me, not the men that I had so much, but the men that were with me, that the Most High supplied to me. My experience was 11 years. So you got individuals like, you got this individual, Elder Yashawamba, which been in this more experience than I have in my 11 years. And I was out there. Didn't have the high priest Marshal, high priest King Marshal, high priest Ariah. And we got hemmed up by the cops. It was a big thing. The whole police force came out against us. We went to court. The judge threw it out. Said the judge and the judge is the referee, so you can understand. The judge doesn't, he makes judgments, but the prosecuting attorney, he actually pulled us to them. I'm the prosecuting attorney. He said, "Look, we ain't got nothing on y'all. Y'all got religious rights." And when we got surrounded by the police, it had to be about 50 of them. They made a circle around us. Now, where we used to speak at in Stanford, I'm coming back to my main subject. Where we spoke at in Stanford, they was out there for about a good half an hour. We were cursing them out because we were crazy like that. Right behind where we spoke at, I don't know if they took that monument down, but it said the First Amendment. It said the Constitution and the First Amendment, and said freedom of speech. We were right in front of that. So, I used to always reference that. I said, "Look," I said, "we can say what the hell we want to say as long as it's in reason." I said, "This is the First Amendment." So we was out there cursing them out, and that's the video where these guys said, "See, Tahar teaches that the year," because in that video I said the year 2000, whatever, and even that demon Yum Yum, he caught on us. You guys teaching the year 2, nigga, you was teaching it too. The same thing with this guy, Bishop Nathaniel. He was teaching this because you were that was a One West doctrine at Ariah. And it wasn't so much of a Ariah never said I had a dream no. He was going by Hosea. Was that Hosea 6:2. It says after 2 days. So after 2 days, that means after 2,000 years, right? Go to Peter, 2 Peter 3 verse 8, I believe, 7 and 8. But so I'm just going into my experience. At that time, I only had 11 years in the school, so I was on whatever happened. Us getting hemmed up and all that, we had to go with the Spirit, and the Spirit was definitely with us, man. And when the prosecutor told the judge we ain't got nothing on him, and the judge got mad. And then when the judge said, "Okay, the case is dismissed, you guys can go," and we started laughing in front of the judge, and the judge said, "Stop laughing," We were snickering and laughing, and even the court, they were looking at us like, I think it was on the news and all that too. It was a big thing. And that court right there, it was number Jake, the Latin tribe, Jake and Latin tribe. You might have seen 1 or 2 Edomites. But the prosecutor, I call him prosecuting attorney, he said, man, we ain't got nothing. We looked at the video, we saw the whole video because we gave him the video. I said, you guys didn't say nothing wrong. You guys got a First Amendment right. But anyway, but we dealt with we got arrested a bunch of times before YouTube. we got arrested. That was like we used to get into fights. That's when we were younger, man. We were wild. But you got to calm down, brother. You can't go crazy. Just tell it. Hey, bottom line is they're watching us now. So the bottom line is this: when you teach, it says teach. When you prophesy prophesy doesn't mean to yell at the top of your lungs. Now, if the Spirit's on you, you can. But prophesy means to be a fortune teller. That's all it means. So we are fortune tellers for the Most High. Fortune tellers for Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. We're telling you what's going to happen next. I was watching, I'm going to get back into this. I'm ranting a little bit. I was watching Alex Jones. Alex Jones was on yesterday, and I watch him. I watch him a lot. I'll go to Alex Jones live, or watch some of the videos that he did. That he cuts up the lives into different segments. So it was, what was it, 2 days ago? I'm gonna watch him today, Most High willing. Anyway, I was watching him. I think it was 2 nights ago, and he had different callers call in, and they kept bringing up World War III. They kept bringing up World War III, and World War III is definitely coming. We're gonna have to do something, and we're gonna have to get Trump back in there to prevent World War III, and World War III this, and World War III that. And caller will come in, World War III, and martial law is coming, and even Alex Jones. I forget if he mentioned he did mention beast. I don't know if he said then the mark of the beast is going to come, or he mentioned the beast. And when he said beast, if you know the scriptures, when he said beast, he's talking about the beast in the book of Revelation, which we're going to get into anyway. Right? So I was saying, damn, if I was on Alex Jones' show, we could break it down to him, and it's gonna fuck him up. You're gonna lose some sleep over it. He ain't gonna be able to sleep right. If Alex Jones if we ever get in there, Alex Jones knows about it. He mentioned it. He said this back in I think it was 2012. He said the royal black Hebrew Israelites. He said, and then he went back into his topic. That's before he was kicked off of YouTube. It had to be 2012, I would think. But he said that. So he definitely knows about the Israelites. And he passed our camp many, many years ago. Give you a little story. Many, many years ago when we was on 33rd, when we first got on YouTube, he had came to New York, and a bunch of people came with him that follow him. And Luke Rudowski, which I didn't know him at the time. He was Luke Skywalker at the time. But that's Luke Rudowski, which he was part of that group. And him and I think it was another dude. And he just rolled up and he started talking to us. He was out there talking to us for about a good hour and change. And he would have stayed out there. And he's originally from Brooklyn. He's a Polak. I strongly believe he's a Jake. He got straight up the spirit of Jake. And we told him that he was a Jake. He looked like an Edomite. We told him, look, you an Israelite. You an Israelite. Because he even said that to this guy. What's this guy? This guy, they kicked him off of YouTube too. Damn, what's his name? The Italian guy. Damn, man. I can't think of his name. Damn, man, I hate this. He would be like a special guest of Alex Jones. He's Italian. Kind of looked like a Simeonite or Ephraimite. Somebody help me out. I hate this, man. But they kicked him out. They kicked him off of YouTube a long time ago. Anyway, he was on his show. They were talking back and forth on it. This had to be like 2017, maybe 2018, 2019, maybe. And Luke said, yeah, I even talked to those guys. I talked to them Hebrew Israelites. Yeah, they kept telling me I'm an Israelite. So I'm a little all over the place with this. But anyway, while we were talking to Luke Radowski, I didn't notice it, but a handful of people walked by in a group, and Alex Jones was among them. I didn't notice it because I was looking at Luke Radowski. And he knew a lot, and I kept calling him baby because I didn't know who Luke Radowski was. That's the first time I met him and heard the name. Back then he was Luke Skywalker, Luke Radowski, from Poland. And I kept calling him baby Alex. I said, "You're baby Alex Jones." He kept smiling. I said, "Yeah, baby Alex Jones." And I remember he said we were talking about the obelisk in Washington, D.C., and he was saying it's 555 feet straight up and 110 feet down, which adds up to what? I think it was 111 feet. 111 feet down into the earth, and 555 feet that you can see, which adds up to what? 666. The capital, Rome, was built on Capitol, which is Capitol Hill, which goes back to Capitol Lion Hill. I did a video on this, which was lot number 666, was built. The Capitol building and the Rome, where you go to D.C., where you see them Roman-looking type building. You got the Oval Office, you got the Capitol building, you got the Senate, you got the Supreme Court down the street. It's all in walking distance if you've been down there. Anyway, that right there is Maryland. Washington, D.C. consists of 3 states. Maryland, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. And if I'm not mistaken, the Pentagon is in Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. Langley, Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. But the actual Capitol and the surrounding buildings was built in Maryland. Remember, D.C. is 10 miles square. In Maryland, that's the seat of government, the capital of the U.S. But the actual place, before they put a brick up or whatever, it was lot 666, and it was Rome, Maryland. There's no such thing as Rome, Maryland now. You could probably say formerly Rome, Maryland. Which is Prince George County, which was formerly Rome, Maryland. Rome, Maryland. Anytime you hear somebody say DMV, they're talking about Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, which is the Washington, D.C. area. Jake say, I'm from the DMV. You know? So anyway, I went on a little rant. Please forgive me. But I want to get into this. So I'm listening to this. Let me do it. Let me put it up from the beginning. And I'm going to explain. Okay, it says, will Esau rise up again after 1,000 years of ruling under the Messiah? And the answer is absolutely not. Even Yashawamba, Elder Yashawamba said, quoting a precept, they shall not rise again, or rise a second time. I say second time, they shall not rise again. Once they've taken down Daniel 7, 18, the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever and ever. Forever and ever means forever. So here you got Bishop Nate. And by the way, since he taught this, we got on him about it. This was maybe, 4 or 5 months ago. And the next day we did videos on him, laughing at him, saying he's going off. And I noticed that he never brought he pulled that subject up again. So maybe he said, yeah, that don't make sense. Let me not teach it no more. But at the same, I don't know what is in his mind, but he hadn't brought it up since 4 or 5 months ago, however long he did the video, this particular video. So maybe he's saying I shouldn't. I did go off. Okay, well if you went off, then you're supposed to do a video saying, well, that video that I did concerning 1,000 years, Gog and Magog, I went off. Scratch that in your mind. The judge will say, strike that from your mind. So let's go from the beginning. Try not to be too long. See, we analyze this too. We analyze. Look, if you're going to make a video, whether you're Sakari, whether you're IUIC, whether you're ISUBK, whether you're Wi-Fi, whether you're any group, we're going to get the fork and the steak knives out. Okay, we're going to get we're going to get the spiritual scissors out. So when you do your lessons, make sure you got that shit right. And consider, as you're doing the lesson, consider what would GMS say about this? Because now we got Bishop Nathaniel nervous. Because now if he says Jesus, he'll say Yahushua. Why does he say that? Why is that nervous? Christ, Yahushua? Why would he say that? Because he he's got the bubble. That bubble in the cartoons. He got the GMS members got their finger pointing down on his ass. Because that's the fear. See, he can thank us for putting fear in his heart of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Got some damn nerve calling the Most High Christ. So let's listen.
Shalom. Giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. And I wanted to revisit, this doctrine, that is being taught by Bishop Nathaniel and the IUIC, that ultimately after 1,000 years in the kingdom, the biblical Edomites will come out of the caves, and fulfill Ezekiel the 38th chapter and start a war, that will be fulfilled in Armageddon. So let's listen to it, and then what we're going to show you is that this is a Jehovah's Witness doctrine. This is why we're doing these lessons, because that is off.
Okay, so now he's going to reference, I'm talking about Bishop Nathaniel, he's going to reference Revelation chapter 20, which I will go through Revelation, not the whole chapter, but I may go through the first 8-9 verses. And a lot of these things are, when it speaks about the great white throne judgment and everybody that's dead in the sea shall come back up, that's not necessarily literal. A lot of things in the scriptures, especially the prophetic scriptures, are symbolic. Yahweh coming down on the throne in the great gigantic ship, Yahweh is not coming down. It's Yahweh Shai coming down, but Yahweh's presence is going to be there. So people are going to say, oh, there goes Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Lord, and there goes Yahweh. He's on that big throne with a ship with a throne on top. No, it's a vision. When the Lord come back, it says that he's coming back in the cloud. He's coming back on a white horse. He's coming back on the mountain. Is he coming back on anything else? Those are the main things. He's coming back on the cloud. He's coming back on the mountain. And he's coming back on a white horse. Revelation 19, 2nd Ezra 13, Matthew 24, clouds, Acts 1, cloud. So how's the Lord coming? He's actually coming as a ship. Horse just means power. So now I'm going to show you now. Oh, another thing I want to say, that at One West, this High Priest Ariel went through this, and this is one of my favorite precepts too. Revelation 20, Revelation 18, Revelation 13, really the whole book, but those particular Revelation 19, My favorite is Revelation 18, but Revelation 20 is up there. Now, High Priest Ariel went through this many a times until we didn't need notes, we just knew it. We went through this many a times, and he always broke it down about the Byzantine Empire, and I'll go through it again. The Byzantine Empire, how we ruled for 1,000 years because Esau was chained for 1,000 years. But now in the 4th verse, it's talking about the kingdom, and the 1,000 years just mentioned that we're going to rule, we're going to be able to kick ass freely under Yahweh Shai, and then after 1,000 years, we're going to burn up all the Edomites, which it doesn't say that in the scriptures. In Obadiah said we're going to gather them together. It only makes sense that we're going to gather them together after the 1,000 years. Okay, so now we kicked Esau's ass for 1,000 years. Ultimate payback. We get to kick your ass for 1,000 years. Then after that, we're going to burn you up. Now you got our High Priest Ariel and his father, High Priest Yaquab. High Priest Yaquab would say, well, the Edomites are going to go away. They never going to come back. We'll never see them again. And Ariel would say, nope. They're going to cut their spirits. Spirits never die. They're going to come back through the other nation. They might come back through the Canaanites or maybe mingle among the other nations or whatever the case may be. But they'll be in order. They're not going to bring no evil. But they're not coming back as Jake. Another thing that High Priest Ariel and High Priest Yaquab used to argue about was the living forever. I believe High Priest Ariel said we're going to literally live forever. High Priest Yaquab said, no, we're going to live 1,000 years. Either vice versa. So you got differences among the top. Like you got Sakari. He says that we're not going to live 1,000 years. And I'm not going to get mad at that. There's certain things we'll argue with. I'm not going to get mad at that. So we'll see when time comes. But if somebody asks him and say, this is what this means. Okay, they asked it that way. Oh, the thing with Ruth being a Moabite or Israelite, we teach that Ruth was a Moabite. ISUPK teaches that Ruth was an actual Israelite, Moabitish. Now that wasn't originally what One West taught. One West taught that Ruth was a Moabite. So really, you got to put a question mark between the original. We teach it the way the original 1969 teacher, because I was there. Don't tell me, well, how do you know? I was there. I was there. Okay? I knew where High Priest Ariel lived. I used to go to his crib unannounced. I knew where Yaquab lived. He lived up the stairs. I knew where High Priest Shaw lived. I knew where Lahab lived. I knew where all of them lived. The only ones I didn't know or go to his house was High Priest Kazak, because he was in Brooklyn at the time. So you guys that claim you know these people, you don't know them like I know them. If you've never been to their house, you don't know them. If they never invited you to their house, you don't know them. If you don't know their relatives. I knew a lot of their relatives, man. Masha, I knew all his kids, his grandkids, his wife, his sons, his daughters. I knew all of them. Can tell you where Mo lived in the Bronx. Can tell you where Mo, we call him Mo. Mo lived in Manhattan. I can tell you what hospital he was in before he passed on, man. Tell me I'm not on the inside. Anyway, this was never taught the way Bishop Nathaniel's teaching it, and he should know better. He just changed it up, and I'm going to go to it. But let me let this play, and you know what I'll do? I'll just go back to the basics. Back into Revelation chapter 20. Oh, and by the way, going back to Alex Jones, if we ever got on this show, and we open up, we just went into the prophecies and World War III and Armageddon and where Babylon is. The next, he ain't gonna be the same. He gonna be fucked up in the head. He'll probably be missing certain shows. He'll be He'll be looking drowsy on. Guarantee you, we'll fuck his head up. For real. For real, for real. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. Please forgive me. Luke Radowski, we were speaking to him, and I went into the obelix, right? How it adds up to 666. Then Luke said parallel, but he said parallel. So we said, could you say that again? Then he's got mad. Remember that. He said, see, that's parallel. Because certain words he can't pronounce. Parallel. I said, what was that? What you just say? And then we started laughing. He got mad and shit. But as we were speaking, Alex Jones passed by the camp and looked at us. I didn't notice it. I just found out. I think it was told to me, but I forgot about it. But Apostle Gabar saw Alex Jones. Now Apostle Gabar could do a video explaining it further. And he said, yeah, Alex Jones passed by the camp and he looked at us and he looked a little nervous. And I said, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, he passed by the camp because you were engaged in conversation with Luke Radowski. And the reason why Luke Radowski left, because somebody came and said, okay, it's time to go. Because he would have probably stayed there. He said, okay, it's time to go. All right? Let me see here. So anyway, let me let this play. Then I'll just go into Revelation chapter 20 again.
Affliction will not rise up again, pursuant to the scriptures. None of these nations are going to join together after Yahushua return and we get into the kingdom, all right, to where they're going to rebel and then a war is going to break out. There will be no more war in the land at that point, but let's keep listening.
But they shall be...
Nations shall learn war no more. All right? After the 1,000 years, we're going to get... How are they going to declare war when we're going to gather them together and burn them up? And that's going to happen after the 1,000 years. And then the kingdom is going to be restored back to Yahweh. But it's going to be the same kingdom. The only thing is going to be minus is the Edomites. The other nations are still going to be under. And we're not going to be beating the other nations' ass every day. The first 1,000 years are going to be beating their asses. They're going to get it. And they're going to keep the laws. And then they're just like you got the other nations in this country. The cops don't mess with them. Just mess with Jake. The Esau is beating our asses, right? Esau is not necessarily beating the other nations' asses because they're in order under Esau, right? So the same thing in the kingdom of heaven. The nations are going to be in order, and if there's any dispute, they're going to come to us, we the Supreme Court, and we're going to say, no, he went off on this, and this law says that, and this, that, and the other. And we have the supreme truth. Kemetic, all these Dane Calloway, he's a Gadite dude. He claims to be a Gadite, which he probably is. All these different Christianity, all this is nonsense. This is the only truth. Why do you think they're talking about doing away with the Bible? They ain't talking about doing away with any other book. Why are they talking about we got to pass a law to do away with the Bible because it's anti-Sem? How could it be anti-Sem when it features the Israelites? We got to do away with the book. So let me let it play on. And like I said, I'll go to Revelation 20.
Priests of God. Those of us that take part in the first resurrection shall be priests of God and of Christ. And of Christ.
The first resurrection is in Revelation. The first resurrection is when the elect make it, and the rest of the Israelites that don't make it come back through us that do make it. And that's going to happen inside of the first year, the first couple of years, you're going to be let's say there's the 144 and the multitude. Let's say it's 10 million. That first year in the kingdom, that thing going to go up to 100 million. And then those children are going to grow up. So the ones that don't make it, they're going to come back through us. It says in Matthew, 19:27, and not so many words, the Lord said, don't worry about your families because you're going to get them back 100-fold. How you going to get your family back 100-fold? In the kingdom. So Bishop Nathaniel saying that only the 1/3 and the elect gonna make it. The rest of Israel, they're gonna be put in a deep sleep for 1,000 years. Then they're gonna be burnt in hell. There's no scripture. He just made that shit up. He just made it up. There's no scripture. If that was the case, the scriptures would have said that. And another thing he's going off on, and the Most High might kill him for that, is that there's an actual hell. Now, Elder Yashawamba said this is a Jehovah's Witness doctrine, IUIC. This is a Jehovah's Witness breakdown. Why are you teaching this? But he's also teaching a Christian breakdown about an eternal hell. That was never taught to you. So he's making it up as he goes along. And because his people are zombies, that whatever he says, if he says Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was a beast, they'll start, look, brother, look, the beast is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Get that, brother. Read, brother. Bring it out. And you know what proves that they're zombies? If he was to say I was wrong about the 1,000 years in the hell, they would automatically see it. The spirit would, yep, I see it too. I see it too.
It shall reign with him 1,000 years. How long are we going to reign with him? 1,000 years. Mm-hmm. Come on. And when the 1,000 years are expired. Now this goes back to what we read in Isaiah 24. And when the 1,000 years are expired, go ahead. Satan.
In the background, we should be playing the music. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. He's saying that, fair words, fine speeches deceive. Who is he deceiving? The heart of the simple. They're all simple. They're all simple. Yahweh Shop simple. Bishop Kanai simple. Look, we did a video concerning the brother. I'm waiting for his name with the bubble eyes, and we explained why he got it. We explained it. It ain't no. Well, let me go to the doctor. Look, we the doctors, man. In the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, doctor of GMS.
10 shall be loosed out of his prison. Oh, wait a minute. Go back to Isaiah 24. I just want y'all to see it.
Isaiah 24. Now watch how he fucks this shit up. Isaiah, but because you got zombies in front of you, so you couldn't do this shit in front of the men of GMS. He goes back to Isaiah 24, which is when we take this man down and we come back, Babylon is going to be completely destroyed, on fire, for a number of years, I would guess, until it burns out. Fire can't be quenched. The new Gehenna, or the Valley of Hinnom. By the way, America's a valley. Spiritually, the Valley of Hinnom. We're going to gather all the nations and put them in order. And the Edomites are going to try to fight us. And we're going to come like the Marvel comic, DC, X-Men and all that. And then the bullets are going to stop before us. And we're going to have fun with them. And we're going to make the guns turn on themselves and all that. And we're going to think a thought, and their heads are going to explode. Whatever we desire, whatever the scripture said, meditate terror. So if I want your head to, I want you to be like a microwave inside out. You're going to bust, and you're going to be hot. Flesh, bones all over the place, and it's going to be steaming hot. If I want it that way, if I want, I can make you rise up into the heavens until you go up in the sun, or just leave you out there and let you drop. Like the movie, what's the movie? The hell movie with not Denzel, Will Smith, Hancock. Now remember the French kid, the asshole French kid? He took the kid, he called him asshole. He grabbed him and took him up into the heavens, and then came back down, and the fat kid started crying. We're going to have power to do that. All right? See, Will Smith was a nigga superhero. That's what happens when you give spiritual power to a nigga. Could you imagine these super predators, these niggas? Hillary Clinton was right. when she said we gotta watch, she didn't say black kid. She said you gotta. He said we got a problem with super predators. He did. I don't remember her saying they were black kids, like Coke. What's her name from the governor of New York? He said a black boy in the Bronx can't even spell computer. Anyway, I'm all over the place. She said we gotta do something about these super predators, and they said, see, she said the black community. First, Hillary Clinton was fucking right. Hillary Clinton was right for the first time when she said, and back then they wasn't even that bad. You remember the badass kids? These are super badass kids. But could you imagine the Most High giving them niggas spiritual power? So that's what Will Smith was. He was a nigga with spiritual power. That's why the mayor of Los Angeles said, "Get the fuck out of Los Angeles. Go to New York. Go to New York." That was a nigga. And who was he? He wanted the Edomite woman. And by the way, the Edomite woman was his kryptonite. The further he lost his power when he got the Edomite woman, and then he got further, and she knew. She said, "You gotta get away from me." The further he got away from the bitch, the spiritual power came back. You know, that was a great movie. That man, they could have built off of that movie, man. They could have did a part. They could have did a whole thing, a whole trilogy, man. They could have did the part 2. They could have did the son of whatever the was not Hamilton. Damn, I just said the name. Hancock. They could have did the son of Hancock, the sister of Hancock. I mean, you could have. That movie was a great movie, a great effing movie. But anyway, we're gonna have spiritual power, but we're gonna be righteous. We're not gonna be niggas with spiritual power. And that's going to be in 1,000 years and beyond 1,000 years. So we're going to all have spiritual. How the hell is this man going to come and attack us after 1,000 years? And by the way, Revelation chapter 21, it said the spirit of the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, is going to be among men. So they're going to kidnap the Most High and they're going to kidnap Yahushua, hold him as ransom. This is why this guy never brought it back, because he watched our video, like he said, I watch all of y'all videos. He thought about it and he said, I ain't gonna teach it no more. But what made him a demon is he never corrected himself. He never said, look, I went off on that, man. So he brings a lot of confusion. Oh, if you ask me who's gonna win, Tyson versus Usyk, spirit telling me Usyk gonna win. I could be wrong, but the spirit telling me that them fucking Ukrainians, man, they some special kind of cracker. Them motherfuckers, he'll fight. He beat the shit out of Jake. He'll knock Jake out the box. Them Ukrainian boxers, man, they don't have no fear. The Klitschko brothers, man, the older brother, he busting Jake up. I mean, busting him up, man. So they could be Jake's.
Isaiah 24, the second to last verse. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit. And shall be shut up in the prison. And after many days. Many days is how long, brothers? 1,000 years?
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. How the fuck? See, this is slick. Fair word and fine speeches that deceive the heart of the simple. If any of the members of the GMS was up in there, we would have got up and left. We'd have all got up at the same time, said we going to the bathroom, got up and left, started the cars, and got the hell out of there, man. Isaiah 24, having many days. What does many days mean? 1,000 years. Well, in 1,000 years, if these Edomites are in prison, how are they going to be working the field if they're in prison? That's talking about when we take this man down with the spiritual powers, we're going to come in that superhero spirit, and Esau's going to try to fight us, and we're going to beat them up, and they're going to realize, look, we can't do nothing with these people. And meanwhile, we're taking their women, their daughters. We're going to have concubines. We're going to have kids with the concubines. Unless the Most High show me that I'm wrong, but if you come on this side, King David had concubines, Gideon had concubines, Solomon had concubines, Samson had Hamitic wives, and the Most High put the spirit on Samson. to help to have a feeling for those handmaided women, which are Egyptian women, because the Most High wanted to start the fight. So that Isaiah 24 has absolutely nothing to do with Revelation 20.
Oh my goodness, man.
Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness, man.
One day to the Lord is as 1,000 years. Okay? When you read Isaiah the 24th chapter,
Number of whom is as the sand of the sea. Now let me tell you something about verse 8. In verse 8, there's time in there. In order for Gog and Magog to gather together the nations against God's people, that takes time.
Wait a minute. You heard what he said. This is why he didn't bring this stupid doctrine up again. Bring it up again, man. Make a fool out of yourself so we can laugh. So give us something to laugh about this weekend. He said that the Gog and Magog is going to gather the nations. So while they're working in the field, they're passing, box cutters, Uzis and shit. Yeah, hold it. The master of the Edomites said we're not going to get them until 1,000 years. So you got to teach your children and your children and your children until 1,000 years, and then we will get the Israelites. And we know that Yahweh is sitting on the throne, but he's got his back open so we can kidnap the Most High and Yahweh Shai, and then we can get the... this is stupidity. This is... If any of you guys from the IUIC is watching this and you still following this guy, something's wrong with you. You need help. Bad.
Time. It does not take a day. It does not take a year. Because not only do you got to gather nations, you also need what to come up against us? Weapons. Because remember, when we rule...
So then while they're working in the fucking field, getting their ass whipped, we got spiritual power. The Most High is among men, so he sees what's going on. The angels are all around us. Know ye not that ye shall judge angels? So we're not going to have angels watching as to what these Edomites are going to do. So here they are scheming. You got Edomite mad scientists make a new invention that could kill the Israelites. I'm making a divine rope and handcuffs so we can these are spiritual handcuffs where we can handcuff the Most High and we can put them in a box and we can handcuff Yahweh Shai, and then we can and then we're going to get King David and we're going to handcuff him. Are you fucking out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your cotton picking mind? This is fairy tale. And these people, bring it out. Ain't no motherfucking hell, bro. Ain't no place where you're going to burn. That's a Roman Catholic doctrine, man.
If y'all remember, in Isaiah 2, what did we do? Nation learn what? War no more. We made them beat their swords into plowshares. So for 1,000 years, there's no war on the earth. Now we loose this white.
So they were putting what's this guy? Robert Oppenheimer. He came back. He's in this. He said, "I'm Robert Oppenheimer coming back. I got a little laboratory. I'm gonna build these missiles up and make some weapons for y'all, okay? But don't let the master know. Don't let the Hebrew Israelites know." So he's sneaking around saying, "Yes, master. Khan out of one, Khan." And but behind the scenes, they're in the caves and shit and ditches in the earth, and they building weapons and storing them shit. This is some fairy tale bullshit.
Right, man. Gog and Magog go out to gather together the nations.
And there's no such thing as no fucking Gog and Magog. Gog, which is Russia, Magog means from Gog, meaning Gog, the land of Gog. Gog and Magog. You got the king of Gog, then you got the king of Magog. No, it's one fucking thing, idiot.
Time is in there. And it does not say how long it...
this brother is gone.
He gone. This brother is gone. He gone. This brother is gone. He gone. And I ain't just saying that out of spite. He's out of there.
Now, I'm on this Jehovah's Witness website, and I don't have a bunch of time, but when you go to their breakdown and interpretation of that 1,000-year period, okay, let's start here. Let's see here. At the very bottom. By the end of Judgment Day, surviving humans will come to life fully as perfect humans. Judgment Day will thus see the restoration of mankind to its original perfect state. All right, bringing out 1 Corinthians, bringing out precepts all completely wrong because Jehovah's Witnesses are off in doctrine. Then a final test will take place. Satan will be released from his imprisonment and allowed to try to mislead mankind one last time. Those who resist him will enjoy the complete fulfillment of the Bible promises. All right, the righteous will indeed mankind released from his. Then a final test will take place. Satan will be released from his imprisonment and allowed to try to mislead mankind one last time. Those who
that already happened. That was the Renaissance. That's when Christopher Columbus came out and discovered the New World. That's that 1,000 years. It seems like there's two. The beginning of Revelation 20 says 1,000 years. They're going to be shackled up for 1,000 years. And when you jump down to, what is it, the 9th verse, it says after 1,000 years shall he be released. So the 4th verse is talking about the 1,000-year reign that the Most High going to give to Israel. And then when you jump down to the 8th verse, it's going back to the first three verses concerning that 1,000 years. When he shall be released is during the time of the late 1492. And Bishop Nathaniel was taught that in the at the main school. That was everybody. And I'm gonna say this too. The only ones that get on these guys for going off are the men of GMS. None of these Wi-Fi ain't gonna get on them. Sakari ain't gonna get on them. Sakari praises the IUIC, and they're constantly going off on things. HODC don't get on nobody. Well, HODC is almost non-existent, you know. ICGJC is non-existent. The only ones that get on these guys if they break the scripture down the wrong way is the men of GMS. And I didn't even do anything on Sakari. I didn't even get on it because of the gang thing. I didn't even really watch the video. I watched some of the videos that brothers made. Because I'm not surprised at what he does. You know, you carrying sticks outside. I'm not surprised what you do. At this point, let's listen to a little bit more.
who resist him will enjoy the complete fulfillment of the Bible promises.
See, all these games of Jake doing what they want to do, this all going to stop when the missiles come. And you ain't going to be able to call on Ra, what's this, the dog god, ISIS. You're going to call ISIS, oh, ISIS, Queen of Heaven, save me. What's the dog, I call him Sirius now. Anubis. Oh, great Anubis. You niggas are going to be calling Anubis. Anubis ain't going to help your black ass. A lot of you niggas are going to call on Jesus. Sweet Jesus, come please help me, Lord. Help me, Jesus, Lord. And you're going to get burnt up. So the majority of our people are going to get burnt up here in Babylon the Great. And like I said, if we went on Alex Jones' show, Alex Jones would not, and we open up on it, and that's what we'll do. We open up on him. He'll be falling asleep in the middle of his broadcast. He'll be missing days. You know?
All right, the righteous will possess the earth, and they will live in it forever. And when you read pretty much how they break down that 1,000-year period in Revelation, the 20th chapter, all right, they're saying after the 1,000-year period, all right, a war will break out. All right, and when you break this down, I mean, it's completely all over the place. The book of
And here's a quick cut. Isaiah 54 and 16, or 17, I'm sorry, 17. It says, no weapon formed against us shall prosper. So let's say they put the weapons together and they get us, led by Robert Oppenheimer. Talking about, I'm the destroyer, I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. Then he got with the 8 arms. He merges with that god, Kishna or whatever. We're gonna have that's a weapon formed by man, right? So what we're gonna do? We're gonna use the spiritual power and we're gonna zap them, and then we're gonna really fuck them up. Whatever work that they got to do, they're not gonna be able to sleep. Just keep working, and when your ass fall asleep after 2-3 days, we're gonna beat the fuck out you and wake your ass back. We're gonna energize your ass and just make you work. You ain't gonna be able to sleep. We can do that. We can feed them with spiritual power. Just keep working, man. I'm gonna have you work for a fucking year, no fucking sleep. And we're gonna give you diapers so you can shit on yourself. You just gonna be working. I want him out there working. Inside joke. If you know what I'm talking about, it's from a movie. You're good. I want him out there working.
Revelation shows that Judgment Day begins after the War of Armageddon, when Satan's system on earth will be...
Hey, this is almost like the Chappelle show. It's like this is the Bishop Nathaniel show. You know, like everybody. Jake got all into the Chappelle show, or the Chappelle. I gotta be home to the Chappelle show. Well, we watch the IUIC like it's a comedy. It's a comedy thing to us. It's like a skit. What do you call it? What do you call it? Skit comedy. You know.
Destroyed. After Armageddon, Satan and his demons will be imprisoned in the abyss for 1,000 years. During that time, the 140...
Satan and his demons will be in the abyss for 1,000 years. And but Isaiah 24 is not talking about Satan and his demons. It's talking about actual enemies of Israel that's going to be in that pit. It's going to be shackled up when we give them work assignments.
44,000 heavenly joint heirs will be judges as they rule as kings with Yahushai 1,000 years. Judgment Day is not some hurried, lasting, or mere 24 hours. It lasts 1,000 years. So again, this doctrine that IUIC is teaching, all right, lines up with what the Jehovah's Witness is teaching, and we want to know, where did it come from and why did he start teaching this? Okay?
Probably came from his handlers. But now the Jehovah's Witness don't teach in hell. When you die, because I talked to them, he said when you die, you just cease to exist. There's no spirit, there's no nothing. You don't go to the Father, you just cease to exist. So they don't believe in reincarnation. They don't believe in hell. But they believe that the enemy gonna come back after 1,000 years, which shows you they don't know. That Jehovah's Witness is laughable too.
During that 1,000-year period, Yahushai, we call him Yahushai, they're saying Jesus Christ, will judge the living and the dead. The living will be a great crowd that survives Armageddon. The Apostle John saw the dead standing before the throne of judgment as Jesus promised. Those in the memorial tombs will hear.
And that's symbolic for the judgment. It's not talking about, God, first, number one, we're going to judge this guy. Okay, the trial might take 2 weeks. So you got how many people? You got almost 9 billion people. So that means you got to judge billions of people. So we sitting there for the next billion years watching niggas get judged? No, it's symbolic. The judgment is the sentence, man. You're being judged right now. When the Most High sent out the lower judges, which is us, and telling the people what they did wrong, Israel, get back into the order. Some of you is going to come into it, some of y'all not. You Edomites, you're going into captivity. See, Esau knows who they are now because we've been telling them who they are for years. So they now see it. Them people, them Jays over there, they're the Edomites. Now, some of them are Israelites. And I'll tell them, I said, some of y'all are Israelites. Some of these pasty Jays are actually Israelites.
Christ's voice and come out by means of resurrection. What the hell is that? What are they talking about? But ultimately, this is the madness that IUIC is all of a sudden teaching.
And if you notice, okay, Yashawamba goes back almost 18 years. The men that you see in GMS Dallas, those men go back years. Okay, they haven't fallen off. Now, if you go to certain camps, like I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Dallas IUIC, it's a revolving. Most of them camps are revolving doors. You go to, I believe it's Dallas, if I'm not mistaken, IUIC. If you go back maybe 10 years ago, 12, 13 years ago, those people ain't even there no more. IUIC is nothing but a revolving door because a lot of people get tired of it. They become disenchanted because Bishop Nathaniel's not teaching the truth. And if anybody in the comment board saying, why don't you all get together and work things out, we ain't gonna work a motherfucking thing out, man. All right? We ain't gonna work a motherfucking thing out. Like somebody, you invite a nigga to your house and every time he come to your house, shit is missing and you're gonna have a sit down with him. Why you keep stealing from my shit? But I'm gonna allow you in the house and you're gonna steal more of your motherfucking shit. God damn it. And I'm gonna say this. Ain't no, this includes, what's his, Katniss Iraq and all that. You got, this guy got your number. This guy, Sarnetta. You should have nothing to do with Sarnetta, man. Sakari shouldn't have them, but Sakari, you can go deal with the Jumper or whatever. I don't even watch that shit, man. The Jumper, whatever the fucking thing is. I don't even watch that. We don't got to do no interviews. They got to come to us. We don't got to come to them.
Okay? They're teaching this madness. What's that? Revelation, the 20th chapter, right? Because the way that this book is read, you read Revelation 21 through 3. All right? That's talking about the 1,000 years associated with the Dark Ages. All right? Where ultimately, for a period of 1,000 years, what you call the Byzantine Empire, the Edomites were not able to rule. They weren't ruling. They were looked down upon. They were ooga, cavemen, and you had so-called blacks ruling. And we bring that history out all the time. Okay? When you go to Revelation 20 and 4, all right, through 6 is speaking of the kingdom of heaven. All right, the first resurrection, all right, ultimately where Yahweh Shah, the 144, all right, with the large multitude being joint heirs as well with them, ruling and setting up paradise. That's going to take a period of 1,000 years. All right. And then when you jump to verse 7, that's continuing what's being talked about in verse 3, because after that 1,000-year period where Esau, all right, was pretty much put down in the Byzantine Empire, you had a Renaissance period where Revelation 20 and 7, and after the 1,000 years, Satan was loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, which is going to lead to where we are now, Gog and Magog, gathering them together for war.
That's what that's talking about. The 1,000 years expired is talking about after they loose from the chained up, the dragon.
All right, when you watch that video, Bishop Nate said that, all right, Gog and Magog leading, all right, a war is going to be after the 1,000-year period. Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, which we always go into, is after the 1,000-year period, not now. Okay, where in the hell did he get that from? Because, again, once Yahweh Shai reigns, all right, let's get Daniel real quick. I don't have much time. I just wanted to get this out. Daniel, the 2nd chapter, in the 40th verse, 44th verse, it says, in the days of these kings, after the revival of Rome, which is fulfilled in Babylon, the Great, NATO, and the EU, Rome will be revived, okay? Starting with the Renaissance period. That's when Satan was loosed out of his prison around the 1400s. You had the Medici dynasty, the Borgias, out of Italy. All right, then you had the Spanish, the French, the British. You had Babylon the Great be established. Around that time, eventually the small hats would be established as an extension of the British colonization. All right, and ultimately that will be a fulfillment of Esau, all right, rebuilding, as it says in the book of Malachi. He would be loosed out of his prison, loosed out of that 1,000-year period after the Western Roman Empire fell. All right, eventually he would rise back up again, and the deadly wound would be healed. All right, pursuing the Revelation 13. But once Yahushua returns, okay, there won't be any affliction rising up again. Let's get that real quick. Affliction. So if you just heard him, once we have them beat, all right, their weaponry, and no more war. He's telling you there's going to be a war started after 1,000 years of Yahushua reigning on earth. Nahum 1:9. What do you imagine against the Lord? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. Esau ain't going to rule no more.
Now, he mentioned that a couple of times. Affliction shall not rise up again, or the second time we usually say. Matter of fact, that's what I'm going to entitle this. Nahum. I don't know why I didn't go to the blue letter. Okay, this is not the King James, but I'll use it. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. This doesn't give you the translation. Let me do it this way. So you got it in the ESV. So trouble will not rise up a second time. Okay, Bible Hub, King James. Affliction shall not rise up a second time.
Daniel 2:44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break, all right, in pieces and consume all these kingdoms.
Did you hear what he just said? So if that Gog and Magog thing happened, that means that God, the Edomites, made the Most High a liar. And see, you got thousands of people that's following this guy, and nobody's questioning what he says. This nigga is the Walter E. Kirks of Israel. If y'all don't know what I mean by the Colonel Walter E. Kirks of Israel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, ask somebody and look it up. That's why they had to send what's this guy, Martin Sheen, to check him. And he checked him all right.
It shall stand forever. So Yahushua's kingdom, the divine kingdom, which he's going to establish the throne of David, all right, that kingdom, all right, would stand forever. Okay? See if we can get some precepts. I know there's one in Daniel 7. Okay? Psalms 145 and 13. Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endured throughout all generations. So again, when the kingdom is established, all right, that first 1,000-year period is for the purpose of subduing the nations and getting everything in order, setting paradise back up on earth. The Lord is going to allow Yahweh Shai and his men to reign, all right, as kings and priests on earth, establishing and being at the forefront of establishing the kingdom of heaven. We have various videos going into it, so if you want the full breakdown going into it, you can. But why is IUIC teaching this Jehovah's Witness garbage and rhetoric, and where did it come from? Are they going to correct this? And then, you know, some months later, they have a dude pop up and saying after the 1,000-year period, there will be no more heathen. What is that all about?
Madness, complete madness. And then don't forget the hell doctrine about a fiery hell that your spirit goes in and burns forever. That was never taught by. He's just making this shit up as he goes along. Like I said, he's the Colonel Walter E. Kirks of Israel.
Okay. Daniel 7 and 14. 13. And I saw in the night visions, behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and came to the Ancient of Days and brought him before him, all right, which is the Most High. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all nations, languages should serve him.
Yeah, but while the Lord came in them ships, there was a certain Edomite looking at the ship and what is it called? Reverse engineering the ship in his mind. He said, I can make that same ship. I have the secrets. I have the secrets that the gods have. I mean, this is, hey, Bishop Nathaniel should go to Hollywood and be a script writer.
His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away. His kingdom is that which shall not be destroyed, man. Okay, the kingdom of Yahweh Shai will last forever, man. There won't be a break in it to where after 1,000 years, the heathen will be able to start a war. After 1,000...
Yeah, that break came in Revelation 20. After the 1,000 years, we're talking about from the time of, even really before Constantine the Great. You got Constantine the Great. Actually, we started to rule, like, you know, you got Bishop Nathaniel says that the first Israelites that sit on the throne as emperors of Rome was 193 AD, Septimius Severus. If he does the research, he will realize there were many, he came way late. There were many kings that sat on the throne that were Jake, right after Domitian, the younger brother of Titus, the son of Vespasian. The guy that ruled after him was a Jake, an Israelite, a Nerva. And he was one of the first 5 good emperors. He was doing right by the people. Commodus, not Commodus, his father, Marcus Aurelius, the father of Commodus, he was one of the, he was right, he was, you know, he did right by the people. And he was an Israelite. He had a full beard.
1,000 years, the Edomites will be burnt up and done away with as a nation. All right? The heathen will be learning the laws at this point. It's just that it's going to take 1,000 years to get everything in order. The earth is completely out of order. The heathen have some very bad habits to unlearn. All this concrete, the way of the earth, it has to be changed. A 1,000-year period, the Lord is going to allow Yahweh Shai and the elect to implement the law in the earth. All right.
Oh, they're going to get the law fairly quickly, because if they don't get the law, they're going to get kicked. They're going to get their heads kicked off. So they're going to learn it quick. They're going to learn. If you get it wrong, like you get a test, you know, you get a 98 on the test, or you get a 65 is passing, you know. If you get anything wrong, you're going to get kicked. You're going to get your head kicked off, and then we're going to bring your body back, and then we're going to say you got it. Now they're going to get it. Perfect example is Full Metal Jacket when what's his name, Private Powell and the drill sergeant, gunnery sergeant Hartman, he couldn't get his left from his right. So what did he do? He smacked him. He said, "What side is that, pal?" "My right, sir." Then he smacked on you. "What side is that, pal?" "My left side." He said, "What side is that, pal?" "My right side." He said, "Get it right." That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to come in that Gunnery Sergeant Hartman spirit. If you can't get it, we're going to beat the fuck out you until you do get it. And you're going to get it because you don't want to get an ass whipping. So they're going to learn them laws quick. They're going to learn them laws, man. They're going to learn when the Sabbath come in. They're going to be looking up at the sun. You know what I'm saying? They're going to, here come the Sabbath. Here come the new moon. Here come the Passover. We get a couple of days break. Here come the Sabbath. They're going to be looking forward to the Sabbath, man. Our kingdom is going to be a stone cold dictatorship. It says we're going to rule with a rod of iron, man. And we're going to bash them heads. Oh, when the Most High put that spirit on us, we're going to tear. The Most High got to preserve about a good billion Edomites, maybe more, just for us to tear into. You know? Let's say 2 billion Edomites just to tear into, and then the Most High have another set of Edomites where we're going to stare into their ass, but we're going to, because that first group, that motherfucker going to be going. Oh, there's going to be a lot of screaming. There's going to be a lot of crying. And there's going to be a lot of sweating. Inside joke. As the scriptures say, we're going to meditate terror. So when we get these devils what we want to get them, we're going to, like a fucking a wild ass pit bull. Like a wild, mean pit bull that anything he sees he tears up, we're going to tear into your ass. You're going to get fucked up for 1,000 years, and then the Most High have mercy on you. You're going to get rid of you. Put you back in the spirit world. Give me a second here. See, everything that happens that messes up your day, blame it on Esau. If it rains, you didn't want it to rain, that's another kick in the ass for Esau. When we get these motherfuckers where we want to, they're going to get fucked up. There's going to be a lot of screaming. There's going to be a lot of asking for mercy. There's going to be a lot of blood. You're going to hear cracks, the head cracks. They're going to get fucked up for 1,000 years. That's the topic right there. They're going to get fucked up for 1,000 years. And then they're going to get burnt up. You better hope the kingdom don't never come.
That's the one day it's going to take. All right. It took, 6,000 years to create creation. Then you had the 1,000 year period. All right. Which is the rest. So 7,000 years completed creation. All right. Those days in the book of Genesis, the first chapter. All right. And it's been destroyed. Prophecy has played out. The heathen have ruled without the laws. The earth is completely out of order. That's why in Isaiah 24, the kings of the earth will be gathered together as prisoners. They're going to be what? Chained up. They're going to be bound.
That's talking about work assignments. We're going to put them in like holes in the earth that's chained in there. And then we're going to grab them up and open up the hatch. Bring them out and give them work assignments. They're going to be scared to death at us too. I was thinking about something else. There are many movies on that. The Conan the Barbarian. They play as strong, as big as his ass was, they controlled his ass. So we're going to control y'all. You ain't going to be doing too much thinking because you're going to be working.
Judged. See, and in that 1,000-year period, they will be in hardcore slavery, not sitting somewhere in a cave, all right, building weapons, all right, and gathering nations to come up against us. So Yahweh Shah and the 144 are going to be reigning, and they're not going to have the wherewithal to know that, all right, Esau, Edom is getting ready to start a war, Gog and Magog. Yo, that dude is gone, man. The bishop is gone. All right? And these doctrines with these camps are waxing worse and worse. Micah 4:1, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of Yahweh, all right, the house of Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow to it. Okay? The heathen are going to flow to the government of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and learn righteousness. And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths, showing you they won't be in the new covenant. If they could be in the new covenant, they wouldn't have to be taught pursuant to the new covenant.
The new covenant only applies to Israel. We're not in the new. We're in halfway of the new covenant. When Yahushua, died and rose, that was part of the new covenant. So in the kingdom of heaven, the new covenant is going to be fully applied when we change. All right. So now this is what I'm gonna do. Let me go to Revelation. Because Bishop Nathaniel is going off, which really makes him not a bishop because he's not teaching the word of the Lord. Okay, I'll read. And I may go to the NLT just to see what that says. I'll read from verse 1 to right about here. And and I saw an angel come down from heaven having the key of the bottomless pit and the chain in his hand. Now, it was a spiritual chain. And he said, and he laid hold on it. Ultimately, this is the orders of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And he laid hold on the dragon, which represents Edomites, their power structure, that old serpent, which is the devil. We know that this is not talking about the spiritual demon Satan, neither is it talking about the Antichrist, which these stupid Christians say. And Satan means adversary. Devil is diabolos, which means false accuser. Dragon, we know what the dragon is, known as a dragon. And the old serpent, go back to Genesis chapter 3. And bound him 1,000 years. That 1,000 years represent the time when we came into power and Esau was beneath us. And it really started around 96, but it actually came into full effect in 325 AD. And we started to slowly go down in around 1350. So that's 1,000 years, but we were still in power. Just like Esau. Esau started going down in 1979. When you put your nest up in the stars, then shall I bring thee down. So they started going down. And after the Vietnam War, the drug craze in this country came from Vietnam, man. Prior to that, Esau wasn't on drugs. It says, and cast them into the bottomless pit. And that bottomless pit represents Europe. Because when you go to Revelation 9, I'm not going to go to it. It says they came out of the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit represents Europe. So they were relegated to Europe. So they couldn't go and find a new world. But when the Most High opened it after 1,000 years, then the Spirit got on Christopher Columbus to come to the New World. So they wasn't able to deal with the Israelites on the other side of the world. It said, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a spiritual seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more. Because he was in power as the Romans, right? Till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. 1,000 years be fulfilled is going into the 1300s, 1350s, 1400s, especially the late 1400s. It says, and after that, he must be loose a little season. That little season, he's still loose. He's still in this little season. So that little season represents about 500 years, from Christopher Columbus until now. And I saw thrones. You know how you have a dream, and you be dreaming about a girl walking down the street. Then all of a sudden you dream that you're on a boat somewhere, whatever the case, or you're flying. So this is like a dream. It says, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, which are the Israelites, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, and that's talking about his system. It has nothing to do with Caesar, a picture of Caesar Borgia, neither have received his mark. That's talking about now. So some of us are going to get put to death upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. Because after the 1,000 years, there's going to be the kingdom as usual, minus the Edomites. Because after the 1,000 years, the celebration of the 1,000 years is when we gather all the Edomites and we burn them. Obadiah 1:18. But the rest of the dead live not until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection, which represents the elected Israel, but ultimately the Israelites that don't make it, they're going to come back through us. On such the second death have no power. The second death is talking about when you go to, what is it, Second Peter 3, it says the first world went out by water. The second world is going to come out by a fire. It's going to happen by way of fire, which is the second death. The first death is the, like I said, the flood. So the ones of our people that are not right and not elect, they're not going to make it in America. Are you going to have Israelites all over the world? Of course you are. Are they all going to be, do they represent the rest of the two? Nope. The two-thirds is talking about the two-thirds that's in America. Because these other nations are not going to be utterly destroyed. They're going to have, there's going to be missiles and, what do you call that, war. War is going to ravage the countries and so forth, certain cities. But they're going to pretty much be intact. And then we're going to go around and we're going to, this time when we tell them that you're Israelites, they're going to believe. Because we got spiritual power. We're going to go out all through Central and South America, all throughout Europe. We're going to separate the Edomites from the Jakes, the great sifting. Through Russia, we're going to find out who are Israelites among the Russians. The Moabites, we're going to put them in order. We're going to tell them that you're the Moabites. So we're going to be the new kings, and we're going to have spiritual power. So we will be gods on the earth. That's why it says in Daniel 12, around about the fourth verse, fourth verse, it speaks about we're going to have a shine among us. So when you see it, you're going to know that that's an Israelite and not a dusty African. Because he's going to have a shine on him. A glow. A literal glow. An aura. On such the second death have no power, but they shall be priests of the Most High and of the Messiah, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And then we're going to go beyond that 1,000 years, because after that 1,000 years, we're going to do away with Esau. Then everything among the nation, we're not going to beat the shit out of them like we did in that first 1,000 years, mainly Esau. Okay, Satan freed doom. Now, you notice it gives you Ezekiel 38 and 39. It says, and when the 1,000 years were expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. What 1,000 years is it talking about? Let's come back to the first two verses. 1,000 years. That's talking about when the Western Roman Empire fell, which was ruled by Esau, and the Eastern Roman Empire kept going. That was Jake. Jake kept the Eastern Roman Empire going, which later became, going to the history, which later became the scholars call it the Byzantine Empire. It says that when the thousand years were expired, what 1,000 years? Not the 1,000 years in verse 4, the 1,000 years in verse 1. And when the 1,000 years were expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his kingdom, prison. When did that happen? During the time of Torquemada, Caesar Borgia, his father Rodrigo Borgia, Pope Alexander VI, I mentioned Torquemada. He led the Inquisition, where if you didn't accept Christianity, they either tortured you or killed you, or tortured you then killed you. So a lot of people got scared and said, I'll be a Catholic, I'll be a Christian. Christopher Columbus was a small hat that converted to following Christianity so he wouldn't get killed. It says, and when 1,000 years were expired, this is around the 1400s, starting from about the 1350s. Satan, which is the Edomites, shall be loosed from out of the prisons. Go back to the first verse again. And shall go and deceive the nations which are in the four quarters. What does it mean by deceive the nations? He brought forth his Renaissance Christianity. We believe in God, we believe in Jesus, we believe in the 12 apostles, we believe the Israelites, but they're all white people. And what we're going to do, we're going to destroy all the icons in Europe, which look like black people, and they couldn't even destroy all of them. Look, do me a favor. Go down to the Met, which is on 5th Avenue and 85th Street, well, from 83rd to 85th Street, the Met Museum, and go to the European section and look at those busts. And if not all of them, I believe, they had their noses are chiseled off. King so-and-so, king this, king that, queen that, all their noses are chiseled off. Why? Because they had so-called black-looking, the phenotype was that of a Negro. So it says, and shall go out to the deceive the nation. That's the Renaissance period. You had Renaissance art, you had Renaissance language. The reason why you call on Jesus, that goes back to the Renaissance form of writing. But this guy, what's his name? Trissino, 1524. Renaissance writing, Renaissance art. So people started saying all around the world that Jesus is a white man. That came from Renaissance art. That's when what did they do? They deceived the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. That's why you go to the Philippines, them Filipinos think that a white Jesus is coming. You go to China, certain Christianity in China, they think that a white Jesus is coming. Africa, forget about Africa. Africa, the number one religion in Africa is Christianity. Go to Haiti. The number one religion in Haiti, it was like 90% of Haitian people believe in Roman Catholics. Go to the Latin tribe. Go to Central and South America. They're all Roman Catholics. Gog and Magog. Now, Gog from Gog, meaning Gog from the land of Gog. There's no two entities here. It's one entity. To gather them together to the battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. That's talking about this is getting ready to happen. Gog Magog represents Russia. Russia possesses almost 6,000 ICBM missiles, which each missile has nuclear warheads, multiple warheads. Their greatest weapon is the hypersonic missile system, which cannot be detected by radar. In second place is the United States. They have a little more than 5,000 ICBM missiles that can be detected by radar. And it's going to be a sneak attack. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints. The camp of the saints is the land of Israel. That's why they made a reference to Ezekiel 38. This is talking about the same thing. Put in the word Gog. See how many times it comes up. It comes up in Chronicles, but it comes up in Revelation 20 and also in Ezekiel 38 and 39. It says, and like I said, that's why Bishop Nate don't teach it no more, because he checked out our videos and he realized he messed up. But he's not going to say, he doesn't want to let them show no weaknesses, because they're going to start to doubt you as being a God. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints about and the beloved city. The beloved city is the land of Israel. It's also the people, but it's the land of Israel. And fire came down from heaven. Because where are they going to be? In the great Levant, in the Middle East. Joel 2, what is that? Joel 2 and 20. And fire came down from the Most High. Did it come from the Most High? No, it came from the Russians, that the Most High gave them the technology to build these missiles. That fire represents those missiles out of heaven and devoured them. And that's talking about over there in the Middle East, because parts of the Middle East are going to be destroyed, but Babylon the Great is going to be completely destroyed. And the devil, which is Esau, that deceiveth them, was cast into the lake of fire. The lake of fire represents Babylon the Great, the U.S. on fire by the missiles. I'm not talking about an eternal hell. That's some Roman Catholic BS, where the beast and the false prophets are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Tormented does not mean being burnt on fire. Torment meaning you're tortured. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and look at it. Let me go ahead and look it up. If you have a girlfriend, you don't want to deal with her because she's a Looney Tune, she's going to call you and you're going to have to change your number because you're being tormented by her. Torment. Let's look up the word torment. To vex with grievous pains of the body or mind, to torment, to be harassed, distress of those who at sea are struggling with a headwind. You want to go east, the headwind is pointing you to go north. So you're fighting to keep going east. I'm not talking, it has nothing to do with hell or torment, burning in fire. Oh, to question by applying torture, which Torquemada did in the Inquisition. So, I believe that's it. That's all I'm going to say. With that, I'm going to say shalom.